She was last seen walking her small brown dog on the towpath of the river wire. The dog was found about an hour later, as was her mobile phone. So her family are very concerned, as are we. We've mounted a really intensive operation to try and find Nicola, including a number of specialist officers.
Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. Today I'd like to go back discussing the case or touching a bit on the case of the 45-year-old mother, Nicola Bulley. May she rest in peace. Condolence to her daughters, her parents, and a loved one. Nicola was reported missing on the 27th of January. It was a Friday, early in the morning. We were told that Nicola was last seen on the River Tow Park at 9:10. A dog walker saw Nicola walking with a brown dog, and that was around 8:53 in the morning. Nicola logged on to her work call. Although she did not have a camera on, she was listening to the meeting and the phone was on mute. That is what we've been told from the police conference. Yesterday, I touched a bit upon this picture of Emma White with a brown dog. But this is where I'm not sure what people will consider brown or beige color. I'm not a dog owner. I love my cat, but I love animals. So I'm not sure. I would love to hear what my subscribers and viewers believe, and especially people who have dogs would know exactly what kind of breed this dog is and what color it is. But it's kind of strange that Emma is seen here and Heather Gibson with a light brown dog, because when I look at Willow per se, I would consider Willow to be a dark brown dog. This beige dog is part of the brown family, the brown color family. That's what I would personally say. Although it's beige, it's light brown. That's the word. So we have Emma here with a brown dog with a coat similar to Nicola. And let me start by saying this is for entertainment purpose only. I'm not here to create speculations or rumors. I'm going according to the little evidence and facts we have. At the same time, I'm going to all the pictures, all the articles from day one, and especially all the press conferences. Because the press conferences started with the timeline that Nicola was last seen at 9:10. Then it moved on to Nicola was seen at 9:15. And then it moved down to Nicola was seen in the upper field by one of the dog walkers, who is the 70-year-old man who is quite tall. And that man did not give his statements to the police. He was asked to come and give his statements, but he sent his wife. That's red flag number one. When usually there's a missing case, and when law enforcement contacts you, you're supposed to go immediately and give your statement for various reasons. To start with, a mother's missing, a human being is missing. And the second thing is, we all know the law. So if the police calls you, you better answer before they come to your door. So I find that strange that that old man who was in the field did not come forward at once. And without any speculations, that brings me to think about over 100 million questions. Like, where was he? What was he doing? Since he's the last person to allegedly see Nicola Bulley. Then you have the dog walkers like the woman with the red coat, who seems to be everywhere in the searches. I pointed out to you all in the Sky News search how she was behind the kissing gate towards the caravan park part. You can clearly see that. Then you have Ron, which I believe is her husband, Penny's brother-in-law, who seemed to be caught out of guard by Sky News when they were asking him questions about the timeline. You could clearly see that he was avoiding the questions. He started off actually by saying, when the Sky News reporter asked him, "You are the one to find the mobile phone, the device." So he said, "I gave my statements to the police." Now that sounds to me, obviously you would have to give your statements to the police, but this is Sky News that is asking a question. So obviously you can say, "I've given my statements to the police," but that's not the first answer I would expect. Because if you're genuine, and if I was wrong, and if I was asked that question and I had nothing to hide, I would have said, okay, Sky News is doing a report for whatever reason, whether it was planned or it wasn't. I passed by, and now Sky News asked me a question. The world is watching, and I may be of help to Nicola Bulley. So I would have automatically said, yes, this is what happened. I found the phone. So-and-so was there. So-and-so was there. It was really suspicious. We didn't see the owner of the phone and the dog. Wouldn't it be like that? I wouldn't say, oh, I gave my report to the police. I gave my statements to the police. That looks like I don't want to answer the question. Then he said, clearly, Ron said, I called Penny. Penny called her sister. That's my wife called me. Then we know that Penny allegedly told her daughter-in-law to go and tie the dog. Now, mind you, we have Ron, his wife, that's Penny's sister, Penny, and her daughter-in-law. We have 4 people clearly who are close family. I'm not saying there's something wrong in being family, but there is something wrong when you're a family. You can build up an alibi easily. We all have families. We all would support our families. I don't mean necessary in crimes, trigger warning, but I mean family is family. Family comes first. So what happened on the field that day? We have one dog walker, the 70-year-old man, who does not want to come and give his statements. He sent his wife. I would have understood. I thought to myself all these questions. Okay, maybe he's old and he couldn't come down to Lancashire police to give his statements. But no, it just takes one phone call. he was fit enough to go for a walk. Why wasn't he fit enough to come with a police statement? Then you have Penny, who never seems to talk. We saw what happened in the clip with Penny and the YouTube creator who was questioning her. I never support trespassing properties. Let me make that clear. We are adults. We need to be mindful to let law and enforcement handle the case. But as adults and as public, we are entitled to find out the truth. What happened to Nicola Bulley? That question remains now. It's going to remain tomorrow. It's going to remain next year. And it'll keep on joggling my mind. That's why it's important for me to find out what happened to Nicola. Nicola was a loving mother, according to many people. We have seen Nicola's pictures. I know people can say pictures can be deceiving, yes. But I'm not going by the Facebook pictures of Nicola. I'm going by the pictures we see of Nicola everywhere, with her daughters, with her dog, smiling, always happy. I'm not saying Nicola was a person who was 24 hours smiling and happy and she had no issues. No, we are human beings. We can be overwhelmed, we can have problems, we can have good days and we can have bad days. I know that as a licensed mental health therapist. I believe Nicola could have been going through a rough patch because clearly law enforcement told us on the 10th of January that something happened that the mental health team and the medical team were called for Nicola Bulley to assist her. When we Google that app and when we try to search for that, that report is not in the system of Lancashire Police, strangely enough. Maybe because it's an active case, and it's maybe because the police watchdogs are investigating this matter of Nicola's privacy being breached. But my question is, it was Paul Ansell, Nicola's partner, who clearly gave the detective Rebecca Smith this information. When somebody has vulnerabilities, aren't we supposed to tell that to law enforcement immediately? Why did Paul decide to say that 2 days before Nicola was found? On Thursday, the information of Nicola having alcohol issue and menopause issues were released. On Friday, Sky News did the reconstruction of the timeline. And on Sunday, Nicola Bulley's body was found. Now you do your maths. We are told not to speculate. We are adults, we are mindful, we are professionals too, and we are not here to speculate. But if the facts and the proper timeline was given to us from the start, then there wouldn't be any speculations. Everything would have been crystal clear. But when you have timelines that have changed thrice, all 3 press conferences gave different timelines. Mind you, 9:10 was the first on the River Park with a brown dog. Then we have the second press conference that says 9:15. And then we have the third press conference that moved to the upper field and the mobile was found at 9:20. Then we've even heard 9:35 is when the mobile moved to the bench, made its way to the bench. I've repeated the sentence many times. Mobile device is an item. It doesn't move. Even a child knows that. So who moved it to the bench? Was it Penny? Was it her daughter-in-law? Was it Ron? Was it the 70-year-old man who last saw Nicola Bulley? Who moved it to the bench? And why aren't we given that information? I do understand it's an active case. We're not entitled to any information. But we should be entitled to the facts of this case. Nicola's daughters deserve the truth. They don't deserve to grow up and spend their life in a therapist's office or in a psychiatrist's office or psychologist's office. That's wrong. Please take a look at this and tell me, what do you see? I clearly see, this is for entertainment purpose. I see Emma, who seems to look a lot like Nicola, dressed like Nicola. Her hair is like Nicola. Nicola loved to wear caps. I'm not saying Emma couldn't be, Emma and Nicola are not allowed to have the same style. They're friends, obviously. And it's winter. That is mostly how women dress in the Western countries. Especially in the UK, yes, that's how I dress too when I go to work at times. Leggings, tight jeans, a long coat. Yes, definitely. But could this be the description that the witness saw? A woman with a brown dog? This is really scary for me. Because I'm seeing things, I'm paying attention to things every day. That is a huge red flag. Let's remember when we watch police integrations and when we watch crimes. I'm not talking about movies, documentaries, 48 hours, anything. Serious documentaries. It's a known fact that witnesses can get descriptions wrong, colors wrong. Some people are colorblind. Some people have a short vision. Some people have issues with their long vision. Could the witness that I've seen, allegedly Nicola with her dog, I believe that the witness would have said, I saw Nicola Bulley from a distance on the river tow park with a dark brown dog. Because Willow is really a dark brown chocolate color dog. He's not brown, he's dark brown. They said brown, so that could be light brown. Beige is part of brown too. Isn't it a coincidence that Emma White is here, dressed similar like Nicola, allegedly? This is not speculation, this is the facts. Our eyes don't deceive us. What happened to Nicola Bulley? Was Nicola Bulley actually seen by these people? How come it's always Emma and Heather Gibson who's been giving out these interviews? Paul Ansel, the partner, said clearly something has happened. Someone did something. Find out what it is. Find out what it is. I've said from day one, I'm not speculating, I'm helping Paul. If Paul said find out what it is, I'm here to help Paul. Let's help to find Paul, because Paul is Nicola's partner after all. And if he doesn't believe that, I'll never forget the sentence he said. He said, "The river is not what happened." So, Paul, what happened? Paul was very focused on the outdoors to be scrutinized. Paul was very focused on the garages, car parks, to be scrutinized. So if Paul doesn't believe his partner fell in the river, Paul should know his partner better than any of us. They have two beautiful daughters together, so he would know his partner. I feel terrible and I feel sorry that Peter Folding was taken off the list. Let's not forget, Peter Folding did not invite himself to this case. Nicola's family asked him for help. Peter Folding did an excellent job. And just because Peter Folding told us the truth that this could be a decoy, he was immediately dismissed from the case and from the national search list. That is wrong. That is wrong. This excellent searcher, who has his own company, the SGI, I believe, came to help the family. And he got thrown out of the list because he couldn't find Nicola? What's going on? Or is it because he told the truth, like we all can clearly see that Nicola was never in the river? So did Paul. So law enforcement, this isn't speculation. Paul said the river isn't what happened. So why don't you all give an ear to Paul? He's the partner. He may know something we don't. And I really find it disturbing that there's only one hypothesis. There has to be many other hypotheses in place. Nicola could have fell in the river, yes. Let's take that as hypothesis 1. Although it still doesn't make sense, because Nicola was never found where she fell. And the water was shallow. Hypothesis number 2, I would have said, is abduction. Because there isn't any CCTV camera in Garsting Road. Somebody could have come from behind and just grabbed Nicola and hid her somewhere for entertainment purpose only, so don't come for me. Anything could have happened. Nicola could have fallen from the other side of the river, whether it was with a third-party involvement or by herself. Why isn't that a hypothesis too? Nicola was maybe never in the area. That it was a decoy. Possible. I'm just sitting here and thinking out loud. This is not a speculation. Because this is how the case should have been done from the start. You have to have a couple of hypotheses. It's not right. I'll give you a good example. It's like a person has mental health issues, but then the mental health issues has to be investigated through the mental health team. A psychiatrist has to give out the final diagnosis, but the therapist comes into role by doing the therapy, and then we write down the notes what symptoms we see, whether we see depression, anxiety, aggressive behavior, trauma. But imagine if I just went with one theory. And I said, no. I only see depression and this person can work out the depression when clearly there's underlying issues. Does that make sense? So you always, not only in law enforcement, a mental health team, doctors, lawyers, everybody usually comes out with a couple of theories before they come to a hypothesis or a theory. So all that was taken out from this case from the first day. Nicola fell in the water, case closed, stop speculating, goodbye everyone, go, life goes on. No, that it doesn't work that way. This woman deserves her justice. I'm in my mid-40s. So maybe this case touches me deep because I have children. It's like me walking near the River Thames, then all of a sudden I'm gone, God forbid, and then they say it's a shut case, who fell in the water. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't work that way. There has to be an explanation to this. As long as I'm not going to the crime scene, which should have been a crime scene, let's start with that. You have a bench over there that has not been isolated. It should have been removed immediately. There could be evidence. If the mobile was placed on the bench, let's use our common sense. Just say the person didn't have on gloves and just put it there and touch the bench. Wouldn't there be fingerprints? I have seen, obviously London is a big city like New York. You see crime scenes everywhere. With all the stabbings and everything that's going on, which is very unfortunate. But we always see the Metropolitan Police, Scotland Yard in London, putting out an immediate crime scene. In fact, sometimes the stabbing, trigger warning, could have just happened here, but they would make sure that they may put a crime scene maybe in a couple of benches. Not benches, couple of fields around even, and roads. Because they know that maybe the weapon hasn't been caught, the person hasn't been caught, so they try and do their job in the right manner. I give that credit to Metropolitan Police in London because I know mostly about London. I live here. And the Scotland Yard. I haven't seen many cases, or hardly any cases in London where they come out with any one hypothesis. Emma White and Heather Gibson have been giving out all the interviews from the start. So I would assume they're the ones that gave the timeline to law enforcement, to the police in Lancashire. Penny has never come and spoke. The old man, I told you about him. He sent his wife to give his statements. So what's going on in Lancashire? What happened to Nicola Bulley? Nicola Bulley deserves her justice. Nicola Bulley's daughters and parents deserve justice for Nicola. Nicola did not just slip and fall. Nicola is known in the area. Nicola walks her dog there. Her partner Paul doesn't believe she fell in the water. I just find it very sad and strange that there's no empathy and emotions from all of Nicola's friends, including her partner. This case touches me in another way that Nicola was right around the corner from my area in London. She's an Essex girl. She's our Nicola. Nicola didn't deserve to go to Lancashire and have a tragedy like this. If it was an accident, may God bless her soul. May her children get all the help possible and all the support, and her parents. But there's many holes in this case, many red flags. So we want justice for Nicola. The world wants justice for Nicola. London wants justice for Nicola. Essex wants justice for Nicola. Nicola deserves her justice. So these people need to start talking. We are not we're not speculating over here, Lancashire Police. I respect the work you'll do, and I respect law enforcement, always. But it's not right that there's only one hypothesis. The bench, if you all said she fell in the bench, automatically the bench is a crime scene. Why isn't the bench not locked up? I heard, and I put the clip up, I told you I go only after evidence. So I know Lancashire Police can't say that that is a speculation. Superintendent Sally Riley clearly said when she was asked by the reporter, why didn't you lock off the bench? She said, we can't do that because people come here on holidays, the public come to view the area, and of course, Lancashire is a beautiful place. And I'm not saying that they should lock up everywhere so that people, this is part of their income. Let's understand that. People do go to Lancashire, Blackpool and all. And I'm not saying it should be locked up. But when somebody is missing, you should lock it up. A life, a human being, a mother has gone missing. It wouldn't hurt if you locked up that scene, at least for a couple of days. The more people who came around the area, people who were sitting on the bench and taking pictures. Where does that happen? When does it happen? This is a crime scene. According to the police, because she fell from there, the police still did not know if she was pushed in the river, if she slipped in the river, if she had a fall in the river, so automatically it becomes a question mark. You should have taped the crime scene. Now, with the help thanks to Maria Sosa for recording that to us, because it's important. We need to follow on this case and find out what happened to poor Nicola. She took pictures, she took a recording, and she uploaded it, which is good. We saw the police walking in the water, casually. And the water was right up to the ankles or just a bit above the ankles. So, Nicola would have been seen if she went above the rear. She would have been. And let's not forget there were helicopters above. Why was Channel 5 giving the news? Channel 5 is a good news station, but it's number 5 in UK, number 5, yeah? We have BBC. Why wasn't BBC giving the news? Was Paul scared that more serious questions would have been asked? Because BBC News is a world news. Why wasn't that interview given to Sky News? I believe Sky News did a beautiful job. They were very detailed in the timeline that they were given. But did Sky News get got negative comments from the family because They found Ron? Something is not right here. Something happened. Someone knows something. Like Paul said, find out what it is. Paul wants us to find out what it is. He asks us to find out what it is. Nicola's body, rest in peace, was found on a Sunday. Nicola is reconstruction timeline was done by Sky News on a Friday, the day after Nicola was found. So if there was a third party involved, were they waiting for that interview and waiting for the police to leave the crime scene, allegedly, and then they put the body back? Because the body was near Rockcliffe Road, which was clearly near a road part. And that is not speculation. Those are questions that should always be asked. As long as we are respectful in this case, as long as we are mindful, as long as our hearts are in the right place and we want justice for Nicola and we want to find out the truth, everything should be fine. And the truth shall set us free. Set them free, more like. It seems like all these people who are doing the interview, Nicola's friends and all, are getting very defensive, coming in our comments telling us not to speculate. I'm not speculating. I'm putting up the news clips, my dears. That's what I'm doing. So don't come for me. I'm not making my own clips and putting evidence that is not there, because I don't do that. Mindfulness is very important. Following the facts and evidence is extremely important. But when there's hardly any evidence to follow, when the facts have been already played around with, and when the timelines have been changed,